Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name's Ella if you're new here, if not hello. So today I'm going to be doing a really exciting video, perfect for students going into university. I'm going to be showing you my tips and tricks on what to bring to university and the most common things that people forget. Moving into university is quite a stressful thing, so it's very easy to forget some items, and each accommodation is different, so it's really nice to know some of the main things that people forget to bring. There were a lot of items that I actually forgot to bring, so yeah, I've written a list down and I'm also going to be uploading a checklist into my description box, so if you want to check that out then feel free. And yeah, let's just get on into the video. Okay, so starting with the bedroom, my first tip is about how you bring your clothes to university. Often some people just fold up their clothes and then put them on hangers, but a really useful tip is actually putting your clothes on the hangers before you move in, and so when you get to your bedroom you can just lift the clothes off onto the hangers and put them directly into your wardrobe. So what I did is I put them on the hangers at home, and then I put them in dustbin bags as well, just to keep them nice and safe. And then when I got to my university accommodation, I just slipped the dustbin bags off and was able to move my clothes onto my wardrobe really easily. This saves a lot of time and it allows you to organise where you want all your clothes already, whether you have like a kind of system, maybe your tops to the left and your trousers to the right. It just saves a lot of time and it's really easy to do. The second most important thing for the bedroom, and for anywhere really, is to bring command strips. So a lot of university accommodations, they won't allow you to put nails into the walls or even put sellotape or blue tack because it can take off the paint. So I really recommend bringing command strips. This has helped me a lot for my first year, as it meant that I could hang framed photographs onto my walls. The good thing about command strips is that they don't peel off any wallpaper or paint, which is really useful, and they're really cheap and easy to use. I used them for pretty much all of my decoration in my room, and when I took them off to move, none of the walls got ruined or anything, which can ultimately save you for having to pay a fee if you ruin the walls. So yeah, that's my second tip, bring command strips. My third tip for the bedroom is to bring some magnets or pins for the walls. So for my accommodation I had a magnet board, which I didn't actually look up before I went, which meant that I couldn't put up any of my photos right there and then, so I had to go out and buy some magnets. So I really recommend looking up what kind of board your accommodation has, whether it's a magnetic board or a pin board, because that could be really useful. I know where I lived in the University of Birmingham in Chamberlain, it was a magnetic board, so anyone moving in there, then I'd recommend bringing those. You can also get some really nice pins and magnets from Amazon, so the board doesn't have to look ugly or anything. You can make it really nice, stylise it, and yeah, make it your own. One thing that I didn't bring to university was slippers, because I didn't really think I'd have to use it. I usually just wear socks around the house, but I really recommend bringing slippers, even if you don't wear them now, because there'll be a lot of the times where you have to either take out the bins or nip to a quick shop quickly, and you don't really want to put some trainers on or anything like that. So one thing that I didn't bring, which I would recommend bringing, is slippers. I got mine from Tesco's. You can get them really cheap anywhere, and yeah, it just saves a lot of time whether you have to bring out the bins, things like that, and it's often something that people forget. Now for decoration in the room, I'd really recommend bringing some spare batteries, whether you have a battery monitored alarm clock or you have some decorations that require batteries. I really recommend bringing some spare. These could be useful for literally any time in the year, and you'll never actually know when you're going to need them. So I recommend bringing batteries, and along with batteries I also recommend bringing safety pins. There's a lot of the time that I know, especially as a girl, I really needed a safety pin because either my clothes didn't fit or I needed it for freshers for costumes. I really recommend bringing safety pins. I would really recommend bringing different sized ones as well because they could be really useful. Luckily, an amazing girl in my flat provided a lot of the safety pins as well as a sewing kit. So if you know you're a kind of person who likes to do some sewing, then I really recommend bringing a small sewing kit, as there's a lot of times when you go clubbing or go out that your clothes can get ruined. Okay, talking about freshers, my next tip is to look up the freshers events in advance to see whether they're fancy dress, and if they are, then I recommend bringing the clothes with you when you're moving in. So for example, I had a back to school night where everyone dressed up in school uniforms, so I bought a school tie and just a plain polo to bring with me, and this saved having to go into town and buying them. Along with back to school, a lot of universities do toga parties where people wear bed sheets or pillowcases and just tie them around with a safety pin. So I'd really recommend bringing a spare bed sheet or pillowcase, as a lot of the times universities do toga parties. Some other costumes that you might want to bring is sports night, so maybe bringing a baggy sports top. They may do a beach night, so if you have a Hawaiian top or a flower necklace, then that's really good to bring. So yeah, I'd really recommend looking at the freshers events in advance so you can decide what costumes to bring and pack them in advance. The final thing for the bedroom is to bring a speaker. So it depends if you're the kind of person who likes to play music at pre's, but a lot of the times people will forget to bring a speaker. So I have a UE Bham, which is really useful. It's really nice and small and it can connect to any device. Even if you're not the kind of person to play the music at pre's, it is really useful to bring a spare one because a lot of the times they run out of battery or people just forget them. So that's my final tip for the bedroom. Okay, moving on into bathroom. Now the number one item that I'd really encourage people to bring is some kind of bathroom holder where you can put your soaps and shampoos into the bathroom. This saves having to put them all on the floor, and I know that my accommodation didn't provide one. They're really cheap and easy, and a lot of the times they can stick to the wall if you get a suction cup one. So I'd really recommend bringing one of those. As well as that, I'd recommend bringing a coat holder or a towel holder, as a lot of the time you'll need to hang your towels or hang your coats if you have a lot. It's just really useful to bring some kind of bathroom holder where you can put your towels and where you can put your shampoo. The second thing that a lot of people forget, which is very important, is to bring toilet roll. So usually the accommodation won't provide you your toilet roll at the beginning, so you will have to go out and buy some. I know that my accommodation at University of Birmingham had a Costco right next door, so you could easily get them from there, but I really recommend just bringing them along on the day, as you don't really want to be having to go to the shop and collecting lots of things, as it's quite a stressful day already and you want to say goodbye to your parents. So that's a really important thing that a lot of people actually do forget, so bring toilet roll. As a student, you will be required to do your own laundry. I know a lot of people aren't used to this, so I recommend bringing a laundry basket or a laundry bag, as this can be a really easy way just to pack all of your dirty clothes and move it out when you need to do your laundry. I got mine from Asda, and it's a really nice big laundry bag that I just hung on a peg in my bathroom. This meant that whenever I had dirty laundry, I could just pop it in and then bring it away with me. Speaking of laundry, a really important thing to bring is laundry capsules. So my accommodation, we used a laundry service called Circuit, and they actually didn't have liquid stores, so that's an important thing to remember. Don't bring laundry detergent like liquid. You also can't bring colour sheet, as that can mess with the washing machine. So I recommend just bringing some pods so you can put into the laundry machine really easily. Okay, so the next item for the bathroom, a lot of people forget to bring a hairdryer or curlers or straighteners, so bring those. They do come with quite a lot of plugs in accommodation, but if you have quite a lot of hair appliances, things like that, then I recommend also bringing an extension lead. I think in my accommodation there are about 6 plug holes, which was enough for me, but if you're that type of person that has quite a lot of things that require plugs, then I'd also recommend bringing an extension lead. And the last thing for the bathroom is, if you like painting your nails, I really recommend bringing nail varnish and nail remover. I brought nail varnish, but I didn't remember the nail remover, so that's one tip that I would remember to bring if you do like painting your nails. Okay, and moving on to the kitchen. The kitchen's quite simple because a lot of the times the accommodation does provide things like a microwave, fridge and freezer obviously, but in Chamberlain where I lived, they actually didn't provide a toaster or a kettle. So if you have a spare one around, then I would recommend bringing that, otherwise you will have to buy one at the time. If you already know who your flatmates are, then I'd really recommend talking to them and seeing whether you'd want to share plates and pots and pans, as you don't really need to have 6 frying pans, things like that. So it can be really useful just messaging your flatmates before you're going to move in and seeing who's going to bring what. Some people also like to share their plates and cutlery, so if you're one of those people that maybe doesn't have enough room in their bag and just wants to share their plates, then feel free. I was on a meal plan, which meant that I was catered for, so we didn't actually have to cook much in our flat. So obviously we didn't want to bring lots of pots and pans and lots of plates. So I'd really recommend, if you are catered for, sharing your plates and things like that. A really important thing to note is whether you have a reading week before Christmas or not. I did psychology, so I didn't have a reading week, and this meant that I actually didn't have enough clothes, specifically winter clothes. So I was in university from September all the way through to December. I packed a lot of autumn clothes and some summer clothes actually, but I didn't bring enough of coats and jumpers and things like that. So one thing for the bedroom is to double check whether you have a reading week, and if not, then bring some extra jumpers, extra coats with you, because especially in Birmingham where I was, the weather changes a lot and you don't know whether you'll be needing them or not. Okay, I think that's all of my tips that most people forget. Again, I will put a checklist down below of things that you should bring and also things that people do forget a lot of the time. I know that different universities have different inventories, and I know that at the University of Birmingham they do provide an inventory on their website, so I really recommend looking before you move in and before you pack on what they do provide and what they don't. This can really help with the moving in process and make it a lot less stressful. So I hope you guys liked this video and liked the tips that I mentioned. If you did, I'd love if you liked and subscribed. I will be doing a few more university style videos. If you have any recommendations on what you want to see, then feel free to put it in the comments down below. And yeah, I'll see you in the next video. Bye!